You've opened the Powers Playbook, your guide to family, wealth, and real estate.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to another episode of the Powers Playbook. Today, we are going to be talking about investing in real estate. So a great topic. We're going to cover things like how can you invest? How can you raise the capital to invest? What does investing in real estate look like? Does it make sense for you? And all of the different opportunities to do so. So just a really cool topic. This is something I've been really looking into more for myself, honestly. How I can acquire more real estate, more assets, and just the different ways to do that in the nature of our business. And so I thought I would record this in order to possibly help you as well if you have any interest in this side of real estate. I still recommend you buy your primary residence first. Let's get you a house for you and your family. And then after that, what are the different ways that we can now invest in real estate? So we're going to go through a couple of options. Number one, and probably the most popular, is to buy and hold. What this means is you're going to purchase a property and you're going to hold it long term. So long term, could be 5 years. Ideally, it's 10. Maybe it's 15. Maybe it's 20. As long as it takes for you to really see good profitability out of that asset. And so this is traditionally done one of two ways. The first way could be you buying a new home for you and your family, and the original one that you owned could turn into your first investment property. Okay. That's a really good way to do this if you are interested. Main reason being is because the initial property you already have probably has a pretty good rate attached to it. You're comfortable making the payment. Your payment on a property you bought a while ago is going to be better served to create and collect rent on than one that you may buy today. And you get the benefit of having a property with an owner-occupied interest rate that you're now going to rent out. And you go and you buy the second property, also with an owner-occupied interest rate that you are going to live in. So there's a way to do it. If you're going to do it that way, it has to be done correctly in the right order. So please reach out to us if you have any specific questions before you do it in the wrong order, which unfortunately I have seen people try to do and it does not work. So make sure that you get some help or ask some questions before you get into that. Second way is to simply stay in the property that you're in and look to buy an investment property. It does not have to be huge. We can start out with a condo, townhouse, depends on what your available purchasing power are. If you're going to buy a home strictly for investment purposes, you're going to most of the time be putting down 20 to 25% in order to do that. There are ways that you can do it for less. It just may not work out numbers wise like you had hoped. Meaning that if you take a mortgage out on a property and then you try to fill it with a tenant, that's what we're talking about buy and hold, is you're renting out the property to somebody else who's going to in turn pay you a monthly income, which hopefully will cover your mortgage. Now, depending on what the market conditions are, it may not always cover your mortgage in full. So you need to understand what is your strategy. If your strategy is to buy and hold long term, as long as you have that asset, even if it's losing $100 a month or $200 a month, that's $1,200 or $2,400 a year. That may be in the short term. What does that look like in 8 to 10 years from now? And how much could you now be profiting on that property at that point? Plus, you have an asset that's appreciating over time and somebody else is helping you pay it down. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So keep that in mind as far as long-term investing. It's not, now it's great for your property to cash flow from day one. Making money is fantastic. And if you're looking at doing this, I'm asking you look at the long-term gain of what this could produce for you. Okay. I like to call it your college tuition plan. If you have young kids, think about the money that you would save for college. What if you were to put that into a real estate holding and you owned that property for the next 15 years while your kids get to an age of, actually graduating or making that decision? Now you have an asset that likely, I don't know any piece of real estate that's not worth just as much or more 15 years or today than it was 15 years ago. So history will show you that 15 years real estate's gonna be worth more than it is today. So you have that. You're also having that person living in it paying down the mortgage for you. So you're putting yourself in a position to potentially make money monthly or annually as the time goes by. And when it gets to the point that they want to do something, if there is a higher tuition level, you can now sell that property, take all that money that it's made in equity over time, and send your child off to college wherever they want to go. This could also be a first house savings program for them. For those of you with daughters, this could be a wedding fund that you may have to use to help them later on in life. Sky's the limit, whatever you may decide. And all of this, I'm saying this to you because I have 2 little kids and a third one that's coming. And that's the first thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking about investing or financially providing for my kids later in life are these types of things. So that is really the first one, buy and hold. Exactly what it looks like. You buy it, you hold on to it, and you ride the wave, right? Now, we don't want to over mortgage ourselves. We don't want to put ourselves in $1,000 hole every month. Like, we want to, make sure that this makes sense for what we're able to now make payments on. So please, consult the proper people, real estate agent, mortgage lender, and let's see if this can be a fit for you. All right. So the first one, buy and hold. We'll get into the second, which is going to be buy and flip. So we're talking about flipping homes. Great tagline. Awesome for people clicking on the video. Flip. Everybody loves to flip property. Flipping property is really cool. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of unknown, just to put it that way. When you're thinking about flipping something, it needs to have a certain amount of profit to make it worth it for you, because you're going to be risking 1, money, but 2, the unknown, right? When you're buying something strictly to flip it, it means you're basically going to tear it down and rebuild it for the most part. No, not the physical house, but the cosmetic items, the things that, may make sense. You want to make sure that there's enough profit potential in it for the flip, right? Meaning that we need to buy it low enough so that we can put the necessary money in to the property to now resell it and make a profit for you. You get to decide what that number is. Do you want to go through that strategy to make 10 grand, 20 grand, 25, 50, where do you draw the line? But you do need to draw the line somewhere. Okay. If you find a deal and you can buy it, rehab it, resell it, and you're only going to make 10 grand, is that really worth it for you? That could be 3, 4, 5 months of work. So what does that look like? A lot of people out there that will try and or flip properties. There's companies that do it day in and day out. So this is not a new thing, but it is an opportunity for you. So think about the people and the opportunities you might have for property that is in bad shape, or just really outdated or distressed, or people in a situation that they need help out of. These are all perfect for a flip potential on a property. If you guys have ever read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, very interesting book. But one of the things he talks about is he would go out and walk the neighborhood. And if he noticed a real estate sign in the yard for a long period of time, then he'd go knock on the door and say, hey, what's going on with this house? And maybe we can figure out a deal that works for both of us. So there's really interesting opportunities out there in the marketplace for flips, but it has to make sense. You're not going to take a beautiful house and flip it, right? If we find a beautiful house, maybe we buy and hold it. Or the couple of other strategies we'll talk about next. But perfect for flips is something neglected, outdated, the worst house in the best neighborhood. All of those things will make it worthwhile for you to flip it. Some different tax implications on that. So definitely consult a CPA when we're talking about this. But a really good, fun way to make some money in a pretty short period of time, if you really think about it, if it's done the right way. Okay. So we do locate these from time to time. They're not the easiest to come across. So if you have something, and it could even be something that is like, willed to you or given to you or left by a family member, there could be an opportunity for you rather than just taking it and getting rid of it in its certain situation. Maybe there's an opportunity for us to take it, make it better, and create more profit. So just have your eyes out there for flips as an investment strategy. Third is called wholesaling. So different way to get into the real estate market is to wholesale a property. Now what that means is you're basically taking from A and selling to B. So I'm going to give you an example. Al's here with me behind the camera today. So I'm going to say Al is our seller. He's seller A, right? He has a property that he is just done with, needs to get out of, whatever the case may be. And he's saying, hey, Aaron, I need to get out of this property. I'll take 100,000. And I say, okay, well, I've got buyer B over here who would pay 110 for it. So I'm gonna take it from, not take it, I guess that's the wrong word to use. I'm gonna set up a deal where I buy it from Al as seller A for 100, and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna transition it over to buyer B over here for 110. I'm gonna collect the $10,000 in between as a wholesaler. Okay, so there's plenty of that going on as well. That is an off-market type of situation. A lot of people who wholesale will not necessarily be in real estate or have a license, so to speak. It allows them to basically reassign the deal, right? It's a way to maneuver property with the opportunity of being the one to find the end buyer and then make money on the sale. Okay, so that's called wholesaling. There's some different ways to do it. That's kind of how it's done in a nutshell, just to make it kind of simple for you. But it's basically you're cutting out the showings, the agents, the whole part of the real estate process, and you're just making it really simple to go from seller to buyer, but you are the one transferring the deal and handling the relationship. Okay, so that's wholesale. You may find somebody who wants to get out of a property, similar deal, family situation, potential foreclosure, whatever the case is, but the property is actually in pretty good shape. There's nothing really wrong with it. And essentially what you could do is you just purchase that property. I'll give you the same example. Let's purchase it for 100, but we know that on the market and the comps in the neighborhood, let's say we live there and we've seen what's going on with the house. We know the neighbor. We know we can resell that house tomorrow for 125. Okay. So you may not have the end buyer, but what you do is you purchase the house for 100. The next day, get a real estate agent, relist it for 100, relist it for 125, and you make your profit. There needs to be more margin on that deal, by the way. I'm just giving you rough numbers. There are costs to sell a property. So more than likely, you're going to want a little bit more in there than just 1 to 125, but like 1 to 150 would be a good example, where like you don't even have to, you don't flip the property, you don't rehab it, you don't need to do anything. It's a relatively good home. It's just that we have an in, right? We know that we can buy it for this, and we know if we resold it, it would get that. So we're simply just gonna buy it and relist it on the open market to the highest bidder and have profit in between. Okay, so these are our four main ways that you can invest in real estate in pretty short order. Now, other things that you may be thinking is, where do I get the money? Great question. A multitude of different places. I would tell you to start with who's closest to you and who do you know? Who else wants to do this? Is there somebody you can go into business with or partner with, or create a partnership of different people who can have their hand in your investment bucket, essentially? Okay. So that's one. Family, friends. Obviously you want to trust them. Please don't go into business with somebody you don't trust. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that there is a way that this can be more than just you, and you can share in profit. Okay. If you look at the best and largest businesses in the world, nobody's doing it by themselves. They're either partnering, collaborating, branding. There's always a meeting of the minds, essentially. and these types of things. Secondarily, your typical loans, right? You can go to your bank, mortgage lender. Hey, what kind of money can I borrow to purchase this property? What kind of money can I get out of what do I currently own? Can I take equity or a line of credit out on a current property to invest in another one? What kind of lines of credit can I get either on my own name or a business that I own? So think about this as well. There are a lot of different ways to borrow money. Have you really asked to see what you can borrow against? Okay, so we have traditional lending. We have home equity lines of credit. We can take equity out of other assets we own. We can also look to get a line of credit for either ourself or our business on a personal or business level. These are all ways to come up with money. The reason I'm telling you this is because if you find a deal that's good enough, there's a way to find the money. We just need to go outwardly to see who's either going to give it to us or who's willing to go into business with us. Okay. If you can find the deal, you can find the money. So just think about that when you're looking at investing in real estate. The most important thing is the thing that you know about, which is the house for this much and the relationship with this person. If you have that, you have everything. Because without that, without the property, the person, the story, we can't get the deal done. We can find the other things. We can't find the deal, right? And I don't mean we can't. Obviously, we do find deals, but that's the hardest thing to find. So if you find a deal, it's definitely a way that we can help you get it. Okay. Thirdly is called hard money. So hard money is where you borrow money from a hard money lender. It could be a private lender. It could be a person you know privately. You borrow money from them to acquire the property. Then you do what you're going to do, fix it, relist it, flip it, whatever the case may be. And then you pay them back the money they've given you with interest. Okay. It would be similar to a line of credit or otherwise. It's just that you're doing it with another individual, right? Third party. So flips, a lot of people use hard money for flips because they can get money based on the profitability of the deal. And then the person lending the money is going to make interest back on the money they lend for a certain period of time. All right. So that's another option. Everything's going to cost, right? But if you find a property to flip that you can potentially make $100,000 on, maybe 10 or 15 of that goes to a hard money lender and you still make 85. Would you be okay with 85? I would be. So just keep that in mind. There are many different ways to find the money. And then we want to be aware of anything else that you can find for money you may already have, right? So think about your other investments. Think about your retirements, your 401ks, your stocks, the things that you've invested money into. Do you have dividends or amounts that you have to take if you're of older age annually? Now, I don't want you borrowing against money that you do not want to spend. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you find a deal that's going to make you, X amount, or you want to acquire an investment property that you're planning on holding that's going to, cash flow X dollars per month and this much annually. Well, it could make financial sense to take out some of that money, knowing that you have the potential to make, 50,000 more over here and then replenish it back in the future. So you just want to be thinking about these things in a long-term aspect. But there are definitely different ways to find the cash or the money to do a deal. At the beginning, you may have to cut in more partners, right? As you grow in doing this, you may be further along in life, have your own funds, start paying cash, all of these things, which obviously makes the game a whole lot easier. But this is just really information to kind of pique your interest level or to see if this is something you may want to consider, because there are opportunities and deals all the time. Okay. Lastly, I will say that we are actively looking for them. Okay. So if you have a deal that you know of, or a property that is in like bad condition, or something that needs to be fixed, or you know of any deal that's out there, somebody who's looking to get out of a property, something that is already working for rental and makes sense, something we didn't talk too much about, but what about short-term rental, Airbnb, like just the opportunity of doing short-term rental as well is an option. It's kind of on the buy and hold option, but in a different bucket really, because short-term rentals are really of their own accord, like the way that you manage them and the different fees involved, unless you're going to do it all on your own, which is kind of a job essentially. So with that, just, think about what you may want to do, but we are actively looking to invest in real estate. So if you want to get into it and ride the wave, please let us know. We'd be more than happy to help you and represent you. And if you find a deal that you think is worthwhile, I'd be happy to come in on it and be your partner if it makes sense for you and for us. So love to tell you all that we are actively looking. If you have anything, please bring it to us. Obviously in the Henderson and Las Vegas area, we're more than happy to come and look at it personally and see if we can make it work, make it a good deal for everybody, and help you on whichever side, whether that's the relationship side, contractor side, if we need to be the money help for you or do the deal together, more than happy to do so. They're fun. I enjoy doing them, and I'm looking for more opportunities to learn and grow with you all. So definitely let us know. One more thing I'll mention, we do partner with Lease Las Vegas, who's a terrific property management company here in Las Vegas. So I just want you to know of any of these that we're talking about. If it involves managing property, you don't have to do it by yourself. We have all of that built into the process as well, and we can definitely help you long-term with those. All right. So if you find a deal or you have anything that's interesting, please let me know. Direct phone number 702-768-5536. You can also email us info@powersre.com, and I'd love to take a look at it and see if we can help you get into investing in your own property as well. Hope that helps, and I will catch you guys on the next one.